his oil, so we'll let him tell about his.
I'm Bill Billson. I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I became interested in Fox probably a number of years after the Antique Trader article on it. But I've been collecting for many years American pottery and oil paintings, and this, of course, was one more round format on the oil painting side as opposed to the prints. And this one, of course, was my first acquisition. It was very expensive to say the least, though this is probably what our Atkinson box is really known for. It's a beautiful garden scene. It's 23 inches high by 45 inches wide, fully signed lower right-hand corner. It did not have a frame with it. Purchased unframed, and I have left it such. The simplicity just states it enough for me. On the back, it had been penciled on it, Country Garden number 4, and they had a size of 20 by 40, but it's larger than that. Boring Manufacturing Company. Now that I haven't associated if someone just happened to see it in the Fox book, or if that was on it before anybody realized that, that there was a book out on it or information on it. Of course, with the amount of money involved, always knowing the authenticity of something, purchasing like this, we noticed in the print and also the print in the book where you see a little blurry line, and this is the larger of the print of it. In this middle green tree right here, you'll see right above it, it seems kind of blurry a little bit, just a little bit. And if you look at the oil, you do see that same blurriness, and what we have decided, for myself, in my opinion, is at one point the tree was as tall as the cloud, and that he decided, or somebody decided, that that was supposed to be a distant tree, and he painted it down. And it probably would have been done, I would say, by himself, because the colors have been blended so well and matched so well. It almost seems the way it is done that it should have been a larger tree, and it had not. And of course, with that right there, that did also appear in all the prints that you will see to coincide with that being, say, the original oil to the one piece. And then the second one, I'm not sure which one was the second one. I think
Bill, where did you find that?
This was contacted me through some other sources. It came from like out east or so. But I didn't have much of the history behind it. The people knew what it was. More or less probably maybe they saw the book and then they started saying, well, if there's a book about it, there must be some type of value for the original oil, of which, of course, they were correct. And then the next one was a really interesting one. This one appeared out on the East Coast. This is 8 3/4 high by 6 3/4 wide. It is signed in the lower left corner, RAFox, in his kind of scripted signature. And what I would deem this basically is a oil sketch. It's just very well centered on the large cow, but in the distance you do see a very small outline of a second cow, just sitting there in the field, but no detail at all on that one. And this one I would just assume is just an oil sketch, which there probably would not be a print as far as we know, because it's almost too simple. All those others were more detail, and this might have been something whipped up in maybe 15 minutes or given to somebody or something like that. And when I got to see it, it's just all in the little wood back in the frame. And this is unusual because in the front of the book they do mention that he had done some things on board, and this one is a little oil on board. And through the years it has some little nicks on it, but otherwise it's held up quite well, which is really nice to see. And this one did come through from the East Coast. It was either Connecticut, New York, or something like that. And then my third oil, the latest one, is the Untitled Birch Tree and String. This one is 32 inches by 20 inches wide, and now that is, for mostly that would be the image. That's not including the frame. That's the actual oil itself. And in the book they list the print as being half the size, basically a 16 by 10. Signed in the lower left corner, R. Atkinson Fox. That one has added a new frame to it, and no notations or anything on that stretcher. And then I also, those were very nice to bring up the print that coincides with that one. And to add two more interesting notes, a friend of mine had another R. Atkinson box oil. It is figure, I think it's 129. It was just a lake and a mountain in the background. If you find just a moment, I have my notes. 137 in the book. His was approximately image size, I would say 20 by 24 inches, so it was a substantial size. Similar to this, but only taller and narrower. And it's so funny because that one, it was almost seemed very crude. It was very primitive in the fact that it wasn't as nicely detailed as the couple others that I have or that I've seen. Almost to the point that it would be, if you didn't have a name on it, it would be termed a primitive artist, primitive piece of oil on canvas. And that one he bought out through the East Coast, and I saw it, and I didn't realize he was selling it. And of course, he had sold it to somebody on the West Coast. And by the time I found out, or the time I really got interested, then I said, "Oh, I should have had that one," but I missed that. And I have seen another one, which is figure 129. This one in the book, they have a print size as a 6-inch high by 4-inch wide. And this size, which I have a picture, which you can pass around, we'll put on the back table for people to see. They have it, it is Royal Gorge, and on the back of the stretcher, it has penciled in the script Royal Gorge. Now, I don't know if that would be the title of it.
Yeah, we have it titled The Royal Gorge, Colorado, printed as one of the famous scenic wonders of America by Red Wing.
Okay.
So that's information that's been added since the book came out.
Okay. Then that would, in fact, coincide with, so nobody really knew that. It wasn't really in print in the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, it's been sent to me since.
Okay, so they probably was original pencils on the back that someone had titled it or something, or maybe that's what they used it for, right? And that one is really neat. It's a 36-inch high by 26-inch wide, and this one's signed in the lower right on the rocks, which is hard to see even on the photo or in the actual oil. Unfortunately, this one is never been repaired, but it's in such aged condition. The canvas is even in the photo, you can see how the crackling of the canvas is coming through, and it should be relined or something like that. And I've never really decided on it myself. Of course, the price is right up there where there may be others more acceptable than that. I have seen, I've heard of a couple others on the East Coast. It seems like they turn up on the East Coast a little bit more than maybe in the Midwest myself. I have been in contact with another individual who has a GB box, which was interesting, similar to the one that we had in the composites or under the listing of the additional people. And it's a mill and stream. This one is 12 inches high by 16 inches wide, and they said that was signed twice, and that one is a little oil on canvas. But at this time, this is really all I've seen, which maybe to some is quite a bit, and others is not enough. But
No, I think that's great. We want to thank you.
just for owning a few, it's always nice, and I'm always pleased that other people can see them and enjoy them as much as I would like to buy some more or see others.
Thank you.